Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to kind of go back into some familiar content if you followed my channel over the years. So we're going to go back into a little bit of numerology and some astrology. I like to change things up sometimes. Okay, so what you're seeing are two dates, April 19th, 2026 and April 20th, 2026. Now let's look at the breakdown. We have 4 plus 1 plus 9 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 comes out to be 24 divided into 6. The energy number for April 19th is number 6. We do the same thing for April 20th, 2026. The energy number is 7. We get that by 2 plus 0 equals 2, layered with introspection and exposure. And I didn't break this one down, but it's similar to this. Number 6 represents responsibility, exposure, consequences. Number 7 is showing up as truth revealed, hidden information, and surfacing information. And then we have that portal window down at the bottom. So now we're going to go into the astrological part of this. The things that are significant for April 19th and the 20th is not just the numerology. It is the trigger point and release. Trigger and release. Events that took place in the first week of March of this year will manifest physically around mid-April throughout the 24th of April. I don't really want to put a timeline on that, but let's just say April 18, 19, 20 onward until the end of April. I see this as someone holding a flame torch. This is how I visualize it. A man holding a flame torch, but he's unable to contain the off switch. So the torch is released and flames come out uncontrolled due to being held in for so long. And even if it's just for 3 or 4 weeks, for some people, that's a long time, especially if it's built up rage and anger. Now, this could actually be explosions, literally, like fire explosions, or connected to someone politically. Now, Aries will shift into Taurus. Aries is a fire sign. It represents aggression, conflict, war. Taurus is a money, resources, land. So again, Aries will shift into Taurus. The conflict, which is going on now, will still be turned up. The heat will still be turned on, even though we're coming out of Aries and going into more of an earthly sign, Taurus. But it will shift more into a maternal, say, financial consequences. So even though we're seeing missiles being shot out, we could even include Ukraine and Russia as well. It doesn't have to be just Iran and places like that. But this is going to cause a financial consequences if we're looking just at Iran, US, and Israel. Tensions become an economic shock. There's land grabs, resources, land disputes. But really what makes April 2026 so explosive is not just Aries, Taurus. It is the Mars during this time. Mars will remain activated until throughout April of this year, causing sudden military movement, quick actions, explosives. And when you combine this Mars aggression with Taurus, we look at earthy things, right? We look at land, we look at the petrodollar currency, oil, and infrastructure being a target. Now, when I looked at the resources, we need to be looking out for Russia and the EU, Middle East, United States markets, ripple effect as well. Taurus rules Earth itself, so this could represent structural failure, earthquakes with volcanic activity. land collapses like landslides, food supply disruption. Now, let's go back to the numerology 6, which will shift into a 7. This is showing me that there's going to be another scandal, a powerful figure exposed big time. And there's hidden documentation. I don't know if this is connected to Epstein. I don't think it really matters at this point. I just think that there's going to be exposure of documents. Most likely this is going to be tied into money, even land deals, hidden agreements. This could be prior world leaders connected to a Western country, even the United States, a prior leader. Think of that. This also can represent a military or even a strike situation. Drones, sudden escalation, border incident. So it wouldn't be necessarily a full war when we're looking at it like that, but rather a sharp, targeted move by the opponent. So things can kind of come combined. Now, again, it's not just Iran. This could even be a new front coming up around the 2nd, 3rd week of April. Well, let me say more the 3rd, 4th week of April. There could be a third front, or Ukraine, Russia, even Iran, things could escalate. Now, when we go into April 14th through the 24th, I do believe the United Kingdom, and I have down London, Manchester, and Birmingham, will have some type of relevance with those dates. So anytime from April 14th through the 24th, even though it's give take, I don't like to give precise dates, but the astrology is pointing that out. There's going to be something regarding political exposure, government scandal, or even a financial shock. Markets, banks, causing the people of the UK in these regions to protest. When I look at the United States, I'm looking for New York, connected to the Wall Street. I'm looking at Washington, D.C., okay, Florida. I don't know what's going on, but the Gulf of Florida, where I'm at, is highlighted. And then there's California, which would be the San Andreas zone. So that'd be more like earthquake possibly for California. And then Florida, there could be I don't want to say it's not a hurricane, but maybe some type of tropical disturbance in the Gulf, possibly. Doesn't mean this stuff is going to happen. It's just showing up in the astrology. And Wall Street, be looking for stocks and bonds, New York. Now, when we get into Russia and Eastern Europe, I'm looking at Moscow. I'm looking at Southern Russia. Energy regions, Ukraine border regions. These areas came out as well. This is about energy and built up energy connected to military, causing some damage, more severe damage in the infrastructure of either one of these countries. But if you are in Moscow or even in the southern portions of Russia, there could be some type of infrastructure in those areas that could be hit. Middle East, we have Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Eastern Saudi Arabia. Pay attention to Eastern Saudi Arabia, where the oil fields are. And then we have the Straits of Hormuz. There's going to be some issues with the oil and the economy. I have spoke on Iran before, and I've told you guys, I believe the way Iran is going to strangle the West is going to be through cutting out the oil, blowing up oil fields and things like that, and it's going to really fall back on the United States and parts of the West, like Europe and the UK as well. That's going to be Iran's stronghold. I've said that from day one, and I stick by it. It shows up in the astrology as well. Also, when I'm looking at Taurus energy, I'm seeing coastal disturbance, earthquakes, volcanic energy. And some areas that are highlighted on the astrological chart is Indonesia. Could be some type of earthquake or volcano potential there. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it is highlighted in the chart. And then land movement, flooding. And I do have down Indonesia for that. So I wanted to go over what was showing up strongly in the astrological charts of mundane. So I wanted to pass it along. There could be no relevance to this whatsoever, or it could be something, but it's worth noting because April, Mars is very strong. It's very strong. And as we transition from Aries into Taurus, we're right on the Taurus cusp. So you have fire, then we go into Earth, and then we already have a aggressive Mars. It can be pretty rocky. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you very soon.